What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Convo Sutra, coming to you from Hollywood. My name's Tarun Shetty. We have a fantastic episode lined up for you with some of my favorite panelists coming back. Let's do a quick intro for our audio listeners.
What it is, folks. My name is Richard Sarvate. Very happy to be on the Convo Sutra again. Thank you for having me, Tarun.
And it's Ritu Mahindru back on Convo Sutra, doing what I do best, talking.
And over here, there's an empty seat because our fourth panelist is on Desi Standard Time. So, it wouldn't be a true Indian podcast if we didn't follow those rules. But she'll join us eventually, and we'll introduce her. It's a special guest.
Do you think Desi Standard Time is a real thing, or do you think every race is just late?
No.
Oh, I think it's definitely an Indian thing, too.
Okay.
I mean, there are certain cultures, right? Like the Indian culture or South Asian culture at large runs late. But I feel like Persians run late, too. I think it's just like the white or Eastern European cultures that they do things on time. Like the British. Oh, my God. They are so timely. I have British friends, and I actually almost risked losing friendships because I was late to reservations.
They are late, yeah. I think the difference between Indian people and Persian people being late is that Indian people do it because they're disorganized. Persian people do it on purpose.
Oh.
To show up fashionably late.
But isn't that funny, Richard? Because Indians are considered successful, right? We're top 1%, right? Yet showing up on time is something that's just kind of part of our DNA and nature. I show up late too. And I try to show up early. Like when I meet you, I'm always like, Richard, dude, I'm running 2-3 minutes late. And you're like, I'm sure, what the fuck?
There's two different types of Indians. There's the Indian that shows up 2 hours early and the Indian that shows up 2 hours late. I don't think there's any Indian that just cuts it down the middle and shows up on time.
Do you think if there's a cardiologist, for heart surgery, you know what? I'll be there in 30 minutes. Keep them on the table. Somebody else fill in for me.
Yeah. Can you just send me his vitals real quick? I'm just having chai. I'm finishing up one thing. My taxes are due.
Deadlines aren't the strong suit though, because I did work with an offshore team that we had to kind of manage, and I could always tell something was maybe potentially going to get pushed out or run late, and so it's almost I had to come up with false deadlines.
Oh yeah.
So that I could buffer in. So similarly, when you send somebody an invitation, no, we're not meeting at 11, Tarun. We're meeting at
3 a.m.
10, 10:30, 10:45.
So if somebody tells you they're going to show up at 11 o'clock, what time do you think that means they're actually going to show up?
12:30.
Well,
12:30,
it depends what the stakes of the meeting are.
Right.
It really does. I had this big meeting this week, and there was a Bollywood star. I'm trying to put together something. I talked to the director, she's probably going to show up late. She was right there on time.
Oh,
because
wow.
the stakes were high. I felt like you've got to put your best foot forward in these meetings.
You can really tell, I think, if somebody respects you based on how late they show up. I think it's like my dad famously would just leave interviews if the interviewer wasn't there right on time.
I'm sort of mortified when this episode airs because I have been the very, very late friend throughout the majority of my life. I mean, gosh, Tarun, even when we worked together at Showbiz India, I think I had a reputation for being later.
You did.
Yeah, right? But I've been on time for this, if not before time.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. And I hope this doesn't set a precedent for you.
No, it's because I have worked on this for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I've literally worked on being on time and respecting other people's time and just showing up in integrity because I have been the worst. And it's still been so impossible for me to prove to people that I've changed. So for example, you probably risked inviting me to be on this because you're
well, it's okay. Even with her, she's very talented and she's got a family and stuff too. So I do understand that too. So I'm not Stalin over here.
No, but it's not even about for me, it wasn't about family. It was what you said, poor time management.
Oh yeah. It's just disorganized.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like some people are okay, we start time is 11, so we got to show up at 11:45 just to let them know who's in charge.
Oh, that's a power move.
And also, what's very important is leaving a party early. Don't ever stay to the end of a party. I have a friend, he will stay to the very end. It'll just be me, him, and the host left. And the host is just kind of like twiddling his thumbs, waiting for us to leave. And my buddy's like, so like, you want to do another drink or something? And I'm like, no, like we should have left an hour ago.
You guys have sleeping bags? Yeah.
I figure at that point, they just enroll you to be the cleanup crew.
Yeah, I'm like,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, what do you want me to do here? Yeah, I'll start folding the toilet paper. You know, I'll put bleach in the
Do
shower.
something. I mean, if you're going to overstay, you're welcome.
Yeah, but some people, they don't realize that. I mean, people, it's a subconscious thing. If someone lingers too long, you will devalue them in your brain.
Also on the phone, if I talk to someone and if it's like a interview or even like a girl thing, like I'll try to end the conversation because like you don't want to be too chatty.
Yeah, see, yeah, women.
Ritu's like, that's me.
That's exactly right, dude. Women do not like a guy that they have to hang up on. They want the guy to end the conversation first.
Well, I don't know. I was just thinking about the times when I've talked to you on the phone. I'm usually like, hey, Tarun. I'm like warming up the conversation, you know, and just trying to like seeing if he's going to like share about his life or say something. Yes, you. And then it's usually like very like, yeah, you know, things are good. And anyway, so listen, this is why I was calling.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
right
like,
to the point.
he'll cut to the chase and then that's it. It's over from there. The conversation is done.
I just feel like you got to get to the point. I think that's where our comedy training.
That's exactly right. As stand-ups, we get to the point fast because if you don't get to the point, the audience will hate you and you will never come back to that club.
Oh, the punchline. You have to have the punchline. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good time to plug Richard's show, by the way. Let's plug Richard's show.
Yeah. If you want to hear me deliver punchlines and show you what it means to not meander, see me on November 10th at the Comedy Store.
And it's my birthday, so maybe I'll get a roast.
Ooh, yes. But a light roast.
People, the Comedy Store is a big deal in Los Angeles, and Richard sold out his last show there. Not to make this all plug for Richard, but that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's such a fun room. It's the room where Dave Chappelle filmed his special Bird Revelation. And it's just like, it's an iconic room to do it at the Comedy Store, which is the most famous comedy club in the entire world, to sell it out, to do well. It's like such a boost of confidence. I'm so excited for the next one.
Ritu, did you ever explore comedy or acting? I feel like everybody who watches you, they're like, oh, this girl knows how to talk. And I'm always like, yeah, she was a host on a show for years.
I've never been trained to be on camera or to be a host or to speak.
What does that mean, trained?
It's like broadcast journalism. So like for me, it was just kind of easy because I think like I just have to show up and be myself. And I didn't really overthink it because I didn't have a live audience either. You know, I just had to show up and never see people who saw me nor get their feedback. So I didn't care.
I think now people actually want to see an unfiltered version of somebody. Like too much media training is actually kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like people love Chappell Roan right now because she has no media training. And she just goes on Jimmy Fallon and she's like, what's up, queens? And like, you know, people are like, what?
If you're too polished, it's actually a bad thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think that, you know, it's one thing to be yourself, right? I've always wanted to, I mean, if I really dig down deep, I've always wanted to be like an Indian Oprah, like just have a talk show.
This is your platform.
Yeah, this is it. This is the Indian, my opportunity.
Yeah, just make me cry. Ask me about my childhood, please.
You can be Indian Phil Donahue, Richard.
Perfect, yeah.
You'd be like the Indian, what is it?
With Springer.
Yeah, Springer.
Oh, yeah. Tarun likes to incite some stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cheers.
We'll have like a fight break out. It'll be fun.
He's like, so your cousin's been sleeping with your wife. How do you feel about that?
You know, that might get some hits. Some views.
But I feel like acting and like doing stand-up is different. Like I'm not trained to act. In fact, I think like I tried to do like an amateur school film for a friend whose real actress dropped out. It was terrible. Like I did not know like to cry and like, you know what I mean? Whatever you guys do. I don't know how to do that. I just know how to be me. That's all.
I think that's most important, especially as a person who talks. People can relate to the person. No, honestly, they relate to your essence first. So
Yeah.
I think the fact that you didn't have all this stuff, because a lot of actors have this, even comedians, they've got this, we were just talking about this,
Yeah.
they've got this facade about how they think you should be, like on stage, on camera, but then that true person, Ritu, is what people really connect with.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
People spend thousands of dollars on acting classes, and then they get cast as like, security guard number 3 in one episode of, Desperate Housewives. It's like, and meanwhile, someone, they just see them on the street. They're like, oh, I like your vibe. And they're a lead in a movie. So,
wow. How would you feel if you're a security guard number 3?
oh, I would kill that role. And, I would be like, excuse me, ID?
I could see you being like mall cop on like what's that little
Oh,
Segway?
yeah. Those little carts.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm thinking
kill
about
it.
I'm thinking about getting into those just naturally in my life, because
I'm so confused. What do you mean? Like jumping in the mall and just like being on one of those
just
things?
being on one of those, I feel like it's such a power dynamic to just like roll up to someone like, hey, what are you doing here?
Does anybody go to the mall anymore?
Oh, I go to the Century City Mall sometimes.
That's like a glamorous place.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a real mall.
But what are you talking about, mall? Like TJ Maxx? What are you talking
No,
about?
like the indoor malls, like, like where we used to go when we were kids because our parents wouldn't let us
Yeah,
go anywhere else.
they got a Dairy Queen and a hot dog on a stick.
Oh, yeah. The hot dog on a stick.
Oh, yeah.
The people crushing the lemons, right?
But I said hot dog on the stick. Ritu brought laddus for us. That's what I was thinking today.
Oh, those were delicious.
Thanks, Ritu's mom, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So explain to us what today the holiday is.
Oh, yeah. So today is Ganesh Chaturthi, and it's a celebration of Lord Ganesha, and it marks new beginnings and conquering of obstacles. So our belief is that if there have been things that you found challenging, today is kind of the winning of you just being able to overcome
Shout
those
out to
challenges
Ganesh.
in life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Repping my boy.
Yes. And
Big
yes.
G.
And my mom, made these things called modaks, which are laddus. So she was like, take it for your friends today. And I was like, what friends? And she's like,
What friends?
I was like, what friends? And she was like, the ones on the show. You're going for the show, right?
She's like, those men you sit between.
She's like, of course they're going to know, right? And I was like thinking, well, Mom, I was like, how much do you actually listen to the show? I'm like, they're kind of Indian and yet not Indian. But I was like, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, I would say I'm Desi adjacent.
Desi adjacent.
Yeah, but
Well,
I love being Indian though.
But I'm glad you mentioned that because, for my own entertainment and sadistic enjoyment purposes, I have been looking at the trolling comments in some of the platforms for this Convo Sutra.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah.
So there were some that were like, these people are barely Indian. They're not even Indian. Like,
No, that's us. I
Yeah.
think you.
Oh.
I think you and Ayushi, they were more Indian.
oh,
And
okay.
I think Richard and I get the slack of not being Indian enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there were comments on when the three of us girls were talking. They're like, none of them are girls. They're all aunties.
Oh, I saw that comment.
Yeah, I mean, you brought us sweets, so I mean, I think that kind of
But
cements
also,
it.
it made me laugh because I think the person that commented was, like those ones that have like no face.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they don't have a face. But also, I was like, also not entirely wrong. I wouldn't really classify myself in like girl.
Social media is the worst because anybody can be a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, anybody.
Yes.
Like, I have a new rule. Like, if you want to leave a negative comment on my video, you have to put after the comment the number of days since you got laid. And because I mean, you can talk shit about me, and they'll be like, "This guy's not funny," but then you have to be like 700 days.
Yeah. Like, remember how I went back and forth with Ayushi about that date thing you guys brought up?
Oh yeah.
I didn't bring it up, but somebody wrote in a comment, why are you guys getting mad? Isn't Tarun gay? And I was like,
Oh,
"What?"
I saw that one. I saw that
But-
one.
And it doesn't bother me at all. I left it up because when I used to do this web series back in the day, like that was all the comments. Like, is this kid gay? Which is totally fine. I'm not homophobic, but I was like, that's interesting that people just brand you how they see you and they can openly express their thoughts on social
Oh,
media.
Yeah.
Like, I bet this guy's penis is 6.3 inches long.
It's it's a bit funny how social media has opened the floodgates to the world.
I did see that gay comment, and I also chuckled because I was like, oh, because it's always the people that don't have a real a real account, it seems.
Yeah.
That kind of like use these like hidden accounts that make comments on people. But also I was like, oh, how interesting. I wonder if you also get that comment because like when you're a good looking, well-groomed, well-kept guy, which is honestly a huge compliment because I think gay guys keep themselves up so well. It's kind of natural to be like, oh, isn't he gay? But also it could be because the way you speak is much more, I guess, Americanized, right? So like maybe they start to like...
How do I speak?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying it's like, it's a little bit more polished in some ways, right? So people start to draw their own conclusions based on whatever characteristics they've pinpointed that represent a heterosexual person, that represent a gay person, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly,
That's
like, I mean, people think like straight guys are more messy in general and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, if being straight means you're messy, then just make me gay as possible. Because I want to live in a clean environment. I want my stuff to be ironed.
I don't know. I felt like West Hollywood was my favorite place to look for places to live because of the fact that it's always well kept.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is something to be said about that. But I do feel it's really odd how people try to make inferences about people and just, I don't know.
This is something I realized years ago. Like when you go for a job interview, I was always very good in jobs.
Yeah.
But like when I was auditioning, I could never like book these roles because I always perceived myself as being this funny person. But they always saw me more of a professional when I walked through the door. So like how you come across versus your own perception of yourself can be two different things completely. And it takes years to understand that.
So you do see yourself as a funny person?
I mean, moderately. I'm not like hysterical, but I know how jokes work.
I feel like
that.
if I was casting you for a film or for a role, I would actually see you more as like the buttoned up, polished, maybe even like scientist or somebody like, or high strung finance guy
Podcaster.
or something like that, more than the stand-up comic.
You're absolutely right. But for years, I was like, how come, I mean, I'm not talking shit, but like I was like Aziz Ansari was like in my generation. I was like, man, how come I'm not getting these roles? Or Cal Penn, and I was like, oh, okay, now I understand.
Well, they have a goofy element to them. You don't come across goofy to me.
I feel like Tarun has a good goofy side. I'm just gonna...
Okay, next time
I'm going to defend his goofiness right
I'm
now.
wearing my squirty flower or whatever.
Yeah, can you just like...
Yeah.
But I think like now people don't want a comedian that seems like a comedian. You know what I mean? Like you don't really want to come out with crazy hair and like, you know, some colorful shirt. Like people just want to see a guy that is funny talking. Like the days of like, you know, 1980s, like, whoa, what's going on with you is like kind of over, you know?
But see, you do occur to me as a comedian.
Really?
Yes, because you have more color to your characteristic. So like, and we talked about this because
She would cast you as a clown, Richard.
Dude, I'll do it. Give me those floppy shoes. Let's go.
A Segway clown.
it's
100%, yeah.
yes, that's why you'd make such a great mall cop because it'd be funny to see you on it because you kind of would have like a somber maybe face, but then there's something comedic about it. You just you have that aura about you.
I'll be like, sir, put down that Barbie.
Exactly.
That was my audition.
But that was the thing. Like when you weren't on like the few episodes, we were like, oh, we miss Richard's energy because it's your aura. It's like your aura is very like light, you know, and fluffy and humorous.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to know I bring such levity because inside this is just like a storm, you know?
Well, we were saying that before the podcast.
Can I bring up something fun that I saw this weekend? I went to the Carnival and
To work?
What? What? So what?
So comedy hasn't really been working out, so I'm now a carny. I went to a carnival. I hadn't been in 20 years, and so I was like, maybe it'd be fun to go to a carnival. And I was the oldest person by far at the carnival, and you know, I was the only person without a child, and
like a pedophile.
I was. It's funny. Basically, this is my confession. This will be my last podcast. But I felt very strange. But then I started observing dynamics of children. And I saw this girl. She ran up to this guy this boy, like she was probably 7, he was probably like 9, and she just tapped him on the shoulder, and then he was like, "Where is she?" And then he just started running after her, and then they just had this whole thing. And I was like, how awesome is that? I was like, can we just bring that back for like dating?
What do you mean for dating? Like you want the girl to run away and for you to be like, where is she?
Yeah, because I think, we've all discussed about how LA modern dating is so complicated and difficult. I think, like, what if as a woman, if you saw a guy that you liked, you could just tap him on the shoulder and then you have to run.
Like play freeze tag?
Yeah, and then if he catches you, you're dating.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not a good runner.
Well, then you'll probably be dating a lot of guys.
This kind of sounds like a horror movie. Did you have a good time at the carnival going by yourself?
Okay, so I went with another friend, actually.
Like a girlfriend?
No, a guy. It was actually really weird because, okay, have you been on the Zipper?
No. What is that?
Oh my God, it's this crazy ride. So I went on it one time and I almost threw up.
Oh.
And then my friend was like, I want to go again, but you have to bring someone on the ride with you. Only 2 people can ride. So I went up to this 7-year-old girl and I was like, hey, would you ride with the Zipper with my friend? And my friend is like a 37-year-old man. And the girl looked at him and freaked out and ran away.
What in like your right mind were you even thinking asking her that question?
Or
at least like asking her parent that question?
I know, yeah.
Like you can't just go and ask like a 7-year-old.
I know. It's like I learned a lot.
Yeah, that's a normal response from a 7-year-old.
You know what happened? Like I think I haven't registered that I'm not a kid anymore.
And this is why you make such a great comic.
But I have the same thing. I feel like I'm 14 years old sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, like I feel like I'm living in this fantasy land still.
Do you think that's why we're all on this Convo Sutra?
Do you feel like
and
this
all
too?
single? Yeah, because I was like, wait, I feel like a kid at heart all the time. This could be a problem. Is the new person coming a therapist to support us?
I don't know if she's even going to come at this point, but
I like she comes at the very end and she just drops one sentence. She's like, "Thank you.
Yo,
Tag me at."
Hey, find me at my Instagram. Yeah, I think we're all what is it? Infantilized? Is that the word?
We
Some
are.
capacity.
Yeah, and sometimes I just see like kids kicking it outside of like a liquor shop, and I'm like, I kind of want to say what's up and just like hang, like, what are you guys up to?
Yo, you want to ride the Zipper? I got tickets to the amusement park.
Oh my God.
Do you have a membership, like an annual to like Disneyland?
I don't, I really do want to hit up Six Flags though, if you guys want to go.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Actually, my friend, for his birthday, he's been asking for such a long time, so we'll include you.
Oh, 100%. I would love to go.
I told him just as long as it's like not super hot, and his birthday's in July, so I was like, no, I can't go. But October is looking good.
Oh, let's go October. Let's go on a Monday. Let's go early. I'm going to take a bunch of Dramamine and let's go to hit the roller coasters.
I'll go, honestly.
Will you?
Okay. Set it up. I mean, I'm not a big roller coaster guy, though.
Well, I will say the last time that I went, I did go, not like, meaning I went some years ago, but I do remember like the roller coasters, it might feel young, but my body definitely took a beating from like all the, and like going back and forth. And I was just like, I did have to book a massage like that week.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like, my back hurts, things feel different.
Did you guys know that women actually enjoy roller coasters more because roller coasters simulate the varied emotions of a fun relationship?
Oh.
So women actually love roller coasters because it's like being in a relationship with someone that is exciting. No, I made this all up just now.
No, did you really make that up?
I did make it up.
Oh, no, because you know what? I was going to say, so I was reading an article this past week, and Katy Perry had broken up with Orlando Bloom before they actually I think now they're like officially together and have maybe even kids or something. But she had broken up because he was too boring.
Yeah.
Because he was too stable. And what had happened was he didn't do the push and pull that she was used to.
Yep.
Like that, the high and the low. And it happens. Sometimes people get addicted to patterns that are unhealthy in their relationships. And because they think that that's normal, they're like, why are you not behaving in this way?
Oh, 100%. Like, look at Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It's like,
Oh, God,
one, we're
that's-
doing passionate lovemaking. Second, we're shitting in the bed. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
dude, this
yeah.
is all the emotions.
Anytime I've dated an actress, it's been insane.
Yeah.
Like the sex has been great, but it's been this volcanic relationship where I never know if it's going to be a fight or a bad thing. And one time I was even like, are we doing scenes right now because you're not booking enough acting work? Like, I said that because I wasn't sure like what was going on, like, because I couldn't get a grasp of any stability.
Oh, yeah. She's like, this is a scene where we have a fight in the kitchen and then we drag each other into the bedroom and make love.
I mean, I guess role playing is a turn on for people though in general. So I think maybe it was a turn on for her, and she was like, "Today we're gonna play this character." Would you have just wanted to know what character you were playing so you could also be in the role play, or did you just want to be like, "I'm just Tarun today"?
You need to be grounded in some capacity here in Hollywood.
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking for a very boring accountant girlfriend. Like, I want a girl that has a 9 to 5. She is nurturing, and she has no aspiration to be in front of the camera.
Can fill it at 1040.
Knows a 1040.
Yeah.
1040 easy is fine. Yeah,
That's hard to find though in Los Angeles.
that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. So I have a good buddy. I'm actually going to visit him in Bali next week.
Oh.
And he is a comedian in LA. He's like dating and now probably going to marry this Balinese woman.
Wow.
Because, he tried all the LA dating and it seemed like very tumultuous. And now he's with like a stable partner in Indonesia.
As like the female here, I feel like it's a little unfair because we also run across men that are unstable and that are trying to like pursue their dreams, or like, I'm going to do a startup and I'm going to give up XYZ, right? So it's like, so should we be leaving the country to find stable men as well?
I think everybody in America should leave to all other countries. There should be 4
We
people
got another
left.
person coming. Yay, she made it.
You're
Zahra
here.
Ali is here.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
Oh, I can't sit next to a more beautiful woman than me. This is just not going to work out.
Thank you guys. This episode has been wonderful.
Yeah,
I
where
had
can
a
we
great
find you,
talk.
Zahra?
You can find me on social media at really Zahra.
Great.
Zahra.
Well, please
Nice.
subscribe. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Yeah, thanks for coming. I hope everything
Thanks
worked
for
out.
having me. Don't have kids.
We talk shit about you already.
Don't
so
have a
worry about
baby.
it.
Just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
do it. Don't have a baby. And that's all I can say. You will never show up anywhere on time ever again.
This episode is brought to you by Birth Control.
Yes. Let me be your birth control.
Well, you made it. Hi, I'm Ritu.
Zahra,
nice to meet you.
Richard, hello.
Hello, Zara. How's it going?
I was going to call you out right here because I have a text that I sent you that were unread. And
oh,
Please
sorry.
do it. That's what we do
He
here.
was
Well,
busy. He was at a carnival.
I was at a carnival.
Yeah, you're on the zipper with a 7-year-old.
I was being a good friend. I sent him a happy birthday text and like no response.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Do you have to respond to a happy birthday text?
Yeah, dude.
You do?
You're not going to get one next year.
If it's a text, yeah, it wasn't like a social media like
Well, it's
Facebook.
It's my birthday. So, and on
It
my,
doesn't have to be on your
cry if I want
birthday.
Where
I
are
will
you?
text you.
look,
That's a good point.
It's my birthday, and for my birthday, what I want is for people to, pour adulation on me, and I don't have to do anything.
Okay,
I feel like on your birthday, you're entitled to do anything you
it's
want.
fine.
Yes,
It was
exactly
your
right.
birthday. It's
Thank
fine.
you. Yeah.
It's
On
fine.
your birthday, I'll respond to your happy birthday text.
Okay, sounds good.
Wait, when people wish you happy birthday on Facebook, do you respond to everybody and do you like? all
Not
the comments?
everybody, but I do like go back a few days later and like love and respond.
See, that's
like,
so much pressure. I don't-
Emotions,
It's how you build
Emojis.
connection.
I think it's a girl thing, honestly.
I think it depends on who it was. If it's just like some random dude from high school, like I won't. But if it's like somebody I like love and see or whatever, I'll text them back.
Oh, yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
like, and that's why I did it. So
I'm
when
just some random dude from high school
We need to
in
talk.
your book.
Yeah.
So
no.
funny.
I appreciate these things, but I think, you know, a lot of life, like, I think a lot of times you go like, oh, they gave me a gift, now I have to give them a gift. Or like, you know, oh, I gave them a ride, now they have to give me a ride. No. You know, I try to like avoid the transactional nature of life.
I feel like there's like 3 times though when you like, people should be acknowledged. One is their birthday. The other is, I guess, well, nowadays it should be weddings and divorces. And then the 4th would be like the funeral. You know, you just kind of give your respects to people.
You get acknowledged 4 times in your life.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. At the very least. Like if you're not going to stay connected. Oh, and I guess the other occasion is when they have kids.
Hey, Tarun here real quick. Just want to let you know we have a Patreon page for the Convo Sutra. If you like what we're doing here and you want to support, please consider giving. All money will go toward production. Give whatever you want. $5, 100 rupees. That's a joke. But seriously, come on, Daisies. Don't let me down. If you're not Daisy, you can give too. Again, appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. Back to the episode.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congrats.
I will say so many people fell off after I had the
bet.
baby. And I'm like, good riddance. But I had no idea these many guys in my life were only friends with me. But like they stayed friends
Because they
with
wanted
me.
to be your baby daddy?
Yeah, what? Like they stayed friends with me like after I got married and all the things, and then after I had the baby, I guess it was like solidified and like everybody just went dark. Like,
I mean, nothing's ever solidified in this world these days.
It's not like they can't still get you pregnant.
if anything, I've shown that I can get.
Yeah. You're
You
just
know what
proving-
it would require though? Responding to the happy birthday message.
Oh, I definitely
At
lost.
the very least, bare minimum.
That's why. Okay, makes sense. Now
No,
I
I get it though, and I've been around so many comics now that I understand. It's like once somebody has a baby, it's like, all right, you're never gonna see them again, and you're probably never gonna work with them again. So
Yeah,
it's better off like.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm like,
see, we'll
this
see.
person's taking care of a child. They're not going to book me on anything. So, you know,
Exactly.
where's my incentive?
You do bringer shows for the child.
Oh, yeah. Now you always have one person that will come to your shows.
That's true. That's true. They're not going to pay the 2-drink minimum, but you know they'll come.
2 formula minimum.
You know when you are going to need her though and her child is when you want to go back to the carnival and you can't ride a ride alone.
Oh, yeah. So I was at a carnival and I wanted to ride the ride again, but
She
you
looks
need 2
horrified
people.
already.
Was this the Malibu cook-off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you there?
I
Were you
couldn't go.
there?
I couldn't go this year because of the baby, but I love it.
So I asked a tiny kid to go with me on the ride, and
Like a random tiny kid?
yeah, like a 7-year-old girl.
Like a stranger?
Yeah,
Okay.
and she freaked out.
Of course. Shout out to that 7-year-old and her parents for teaching her not to go on rides with strangers.
She learned about stranger danger for sure. Like that kid is not getting molested.
Wait, also, this isn't a regular carnival. That was in Malibu.
This is in Malibu. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Malibu has a cook-off. Like they call it the cook-off, but it's a carnival every Labor Day weekend.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So this wasn't like I was thinking like, you know, like the local carnivals or like the Ringling Brothers circus type of thing. And so this wasn't that. It was in Malibu.
It's in Malibu, and they definitely secure the rides a little bit more because they know people have lawyers and stuff like that. So it's.
Okay.
I still
Yeah.
got sick on the zipper though.
I get sick on those rides every year. Yeah, but I still go because it's so much fun.
The other faux pas I made, I just blocked out in my head. There was a girl who was pregnant, and I was like, "Oh, are you going on the rides?" And she was like, "I'm pregnant," and I was like, "Oh, wouldn't the baby enjoy the ride?"
Oh my God.
Dude, I was like, and then after she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh man, like."
This is the thing. This is it. This is it. You're not even trying to be funny. You're just are.
But the suffering I endure as a result is so painful.
Yeah, we were talking about comedy essences. and
Okay.
she was saying, I don't really come across like a comedian, but Richard actually does.
I just come across as someone whose life is in shambles.
Not really.
Wait,
though.
so are you a comedian as well?
Yes.
Okay, so now would be the right time to ask this question. We were discussing this earlier, but we didn't go into it.
Okay.
Are comedians actually depressed in real life and therefore show up on stage and end up being funny because they're just making a mockery out of everything in life?
I think we are sad clowns. Yes. Yeah, I think a lot of us like I mean, I wouldn't say all comedians are depressed because some are actually in therapy and actively getting better. But yeah, I think there's a reason why a lot of comics fall into comedy, or a lot of times people use comedy and laughter as a natural way to like mask or make themselves feel better about something. So I would say yes. Like, I wouldn't say we're all depressed.
No,
but
not depressed, but that's probably an exaggeration.
It is an outlet.
There is a certain level of like darkness or pain or suffering or something, and then you go on stage and you just kind of alchemize it.
I feel like that's my counterbalance. Like, I'm pretty miserable off stage. I don't be medicated because I feel like that's what fuels everything else in my life. So that's why I'm okay. I'm like, I can just ride this out, and if I can pay my bills using this, so be it. That's the price I have to pay.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my feet pics. Like, I'm like, well, if I can pay my bills selling these, why not?
I think I do stand up because I can't talk to people at a party.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, this is literally my only way to talk to people.
I agree with Richard. He can't talk to people at parties or in general. But no, why do I do it? Honestly, I don't know anymore. It's kind of like going to the gym. I just need to do it as an outlet. And also to get all the crazy thoughts out of my head. Because yes, a lot of the thoughts I do have, I realize if I say them to people in general conversation, it's wrong. Or like just on the borders of like what is like decorum or whatever. So I found that stage is a better place for those crazy conversations. To release. Yeah. But I started stand-up because I couldn't find a boyfriend, and it was like a more productive way to spend my time than trying to date in New York or LA.
So did stand-up lead to you getting married?
Yes, actually.
Did he come to a show or what?
He didn't come to a show, but he thought it was really cool, and he's a big fan of stand-ups.
Wait, so he didn't even know that you did that, and he still fell for you?
Yeah.
What?
Well, he found, like, when we met up, I think when we met up, he found out.
Yeah, I was like, literally, like, the light bulb in my head was going out. Okay, so I need to enroll now in. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, stand-up is just like a live biodata.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, but the thing, my husband is a DJ, and so I think that's why, I know, it's embarrassing. But...
His name is Tiesro.
I wish. No, so I think it's very common for creatives to get along, and like he works at night, I work at night, and he understands the comedy world because he's such a big fan. So I think it just works, and we understand each other.
The irony of you saying that is because right as you were walking in, they were talking about dating boring girls who work 9-to-5 jobs and preferably accounting, or leaving the country and going to somewhere like Bali to find somebody that is more stable than them.
Well, Zahra gets it. She gets the comedy scene.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I understand, because for male comics, in order for it to work, they need someone who's actually making money. And can provide health insurance. Like every happy male comic I know who's like not like a celebrity A-list on their own, who's married and has kids, like their wife is like a doctor or an anesthesiologist. You know, like they have like legitimate, well-paying, stable jobs.
Yeah. And now Tarun's head has light bulbs going off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I tried that.
Yeah.
And I just, as a guy, my ego can't take it. Like, honestly, like, I have to be making money. I can't be like some stay-at-home dad. So I'm like, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down solo. So I've tried dating girls who are professionals, and I think it's me. It's definitely the common denominator is me. So now I just kind of float.
Like, you mean you want to be able to like provide for them in some way, and you're not able to?
Not just them, my family. Like, I want to be able to be a guy who's, you know, I think it's the male Indian guy in me. I want to be able to provide, and I do okay. But when I was dating girls who were like doctors in my 20s and 30s, I was like, wow, this girl makes way more money than I do at this point. And it's a gamble. As a comedian, it's like you're betting on it, whether it's a female or a guy, you're betting on that other person to quote unquote make it. There's no guarantees in this.
I just feel like if your wife makes more money than you and you're like, hey, I got to go out and do stand-up, she's going to be like, well, we got a family dinner tonight.
Absolutely. What do you think, Zahra? No, please.
I mean, I think it's really thorough, and I think it's great that you've become self-aware and you know what you need. I mean, I think it's very hard for, I don't know, like Indians of this generation, especially the men. It's like we've been raised to like really value the stability. But yeah, there's plenty of guys out there. Like white guys love women paying for their shit. Like it's fine. Whatever floats your boat, honestly, whatever makes you happy. At some point, I mean, if you do want to be with someone, you just have to, you might find the right person who is like a millionaire and you're totally fine with it because you love that person and everything that they bring to the table. So you never know, like something that you might like die in a hill on today may be something that you're willing to change and like let your values change for that person.
There was one time I used to work at Yahoo, and our CEO was Marissa Meyer, who is this beautiful woman. She even did like a Vogue spread. And one time, like I messed up something at Yahoo, like a bug in email, and she came over to my desk personally, and she was like, "You have to fix this today." And when she said that, I got kind of turned on. I was like, I could be with this woman.
Yeah, there's something to be said about like really powerful women. Like it's attractive.
I've heard that where guys are intimidated by powerful women, and it does exist. I remember being intimidated by this girl I went out with who was a lawyer, and I was definitely intimidated. I was like, dude, she definitely wants kids ASAP. I was imagining, like, my mind goes crazy. I'll be the stay-at-home dad. I'm going to stop my comedy stuff. And I just go down these rabbit holes.
I think that's the thing, is going down the rabbit holes without having a conversation with the other person about, I'm going down this rabbit hole. Should I be jumping down here or not? Because she might be like, no, I don't
even like you.
Why are you having kids with me in this dream of yours? Like, you're not my stay-at-home dad.
But also being a stay-at-home dad is fun. Like I have plenty of friends who, you know, they've taken turns where one is a stay-at-home dad for a couple of years and, you know, the wife is like busy being a doctor and then they switch off. And also I know plenty of comics who are stay-at-home dads during the day and then do stand-up at night and write and go on the road on the weekends, and it works for them. So it's really you know, whatever makes you happy as a family.
Yeah, I just got to be in charge. I don't know what it is. Like, I got to be in control. That's what makes me feel, I got to feel like a hero on a journey. You know what I mean?
But you could still be a hero and be a stay-at-home dad. Like, why are we saying stay-at-home moms aren't heroes? Because I think they are.
You go, girl.
Seriously.
You just, another high five.
That's why Zahra's here, everyone.
Yes.
Okay, I was on maternity leave for like 4 months, and every day I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe people do this full time for the rest of their lives when they have children and they just like never go back to their careers or whatever. It's really, really hard. It's really hard.
I've heard the flip side though, where women don't want to go back to their jobs and they just want to be a mom. They're like, I just want to be with my kid all the time.
I've been thinking about that like almost every day.
Wow.
And then, you know, my baby like pees on me or something and I'm like, no, I'm good. I need normal adult people around me. So,
but I do feel like from my friends that I've seen that I think it's all about having a choice. You know, it's like if either way, if you feel like I have to go back to work or I can't go back to work because I have to be, then you don't feel empowered. As long as you're making an empowered choice that like, you know what, I don't really care to go back to work. I really enjoy spending time and raising my child. And yeah, there's rough moments, but like, this is where I want to invest my time. If you can choose it, then you can be in that power suit.
It's hard all around. I think it's a privilege to be empowered, right? Like you know, growing up in an immigrant household, you were kind of raised to believe like stability is great and you need to acquire it and all of that. And so now, like, I girl boss so hard, I cannot quit my career because I live in a dual income household and we can't make, like, I don't have the privilege of being a stay-at-home mom because we need 2 incomes to survive in LA, you know, and my kid, we need to pay for childcare so with some households, it's like they have no choice. Like one of the parents has to give up their career to be a stay-at-home mom or dad because childcare is so freaking expensive.
Or do like my kids, just like tell them, don't open the door for anybody.
Just
when you
leave
come
them
in,
home alone.
there's a cup of noodles in that cupboard. You
Is that
know
what
how
your
to,
mom did to you?
yeah, she had to work, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
My parents had to work. They were also immigrants. So it was just kind of like, you know, don't open the door for anybody, and cup of noodles are there. I
And
know
what
what
if
to
a
do.
guy asks you to ride the zipper?
First of all, ride the zipper is like all sorts of wrong in that sentence, period.
Yeah, it sounds like a dominatrix thing.
I'm
I
like,
feel like they need to change the name of this ride.
Dude, the zipper is crazy. I still feel nauseous.
Hey, we're
So
all gonna
does
go to
the
Six
little
Flags
girl.
all together. So
Yeah.
Zahra, you can come.
I love Six Flags. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go on all the rides now.
Oh, good.
I'm
What
very
do you
excited.
mean? Were you not tall enough before?
She was pregnant.
That I know I was pregnant. I was not tall,
tall
enough.
enough?
There was a period of time where I wasn't tall enough.
Guys,
and
she's
then I
not
was
pregnant anymore. So everyone who fell off, get back in those DMs.
Yeah, let's go to Six Flags, guys. I love Six Flags.
Did you feel like your life was like just kind of stalled when you were pregnant? You'd have to stop doing certain things?
Yeah. No, life has been I don't know. Like there's a certain part of your life that's on hold because you're pregnant. Like I was trying to be really safe, so I didn't drink coffee for a long time, and you know, I haven't had a gummy in like a year and a half, and I really miss doing that. But yeah, and also like stand up, I can't just like, you know, before it's like, hey, so and so dropped out of the show. Can you do the show? Can you be here in an hour? And now I'm like, I can't be there in an hour. I can
Yeah.
probably be there in like 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just kind of like how life is.
See, I would use
right
that to my
now.
advantage. Like, hey, I'm pregnant. Can I go up earlier tonight? I'm like, yeah, you can go up, you know?
There were shows
Yeah.
like when I would make it to a show, if I wasn't like sick, there were so many times where I was driving to a show, got sick, and I would have to like, you know, go to the side of the road and be like, hey, sorry, I can't make it. And then the rest of my pregnancy, I'm like, well, if I'm going to do this to people all over town because I'm pregnant, like it's probably much more responsible that I don't do this. And so that's what happened. But yeah, when I show up to shows and they would see that I'm huge, they're like, yeah, you need to go and go home. And, you know,
Yeah.
and I will say that the comedy scene has become a lot better with stuff like that. Like everyone's just a lot nicer when it comes to like health things and whatever, life things.
Yeah, every show has to have one pregnant woman on it for diversity.
No, I don't know about that. But everyone did say, like, are you going to film a special now? Because Ali Wong did that when
Oh,
she was
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the
pregnant.
thing.
And I'm like, being pregnant and being a comic doesn't mean you need to film your special. It's like, it's a prop for like 9 months and then you're,
Yeah.
you know?
There's going to be like 40 kids running around that were like in the bellies of women doing specials.
Exactly. It's not a way of getting a Netflix special.
Was she the only one though that did that? Because I only remember her because
was a
she
bunch.
wore like the super tight leopard dress and did it.
That's the only special I saw
That's
being
the only
pregnant.
one I saw
but
being
there's
pregnant,
plenty
too.
of women in comedy who've been pregnant.
Our friend Monrock did Conan while pregnant.
Yeah, she was the first pregnant woman to do Conan.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've knocked up girls and done stand up.
I'm gonna,
Well done, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks. Where can we find you? Sorry.
Well, you can find me every month with my girl group Facial Recognition Comedy at the Comedy Store. Just go on our Instagram or socials
Never
or
heard of
website.
it.
Yeah, it's just a group of brown women. What's the term now? Manasa, Middle Eastern, North African, South Asian stand-up comics, all very funny. And we used to tour. We used to have a show in New York, but since the pandemic, we've pretty much kind of been local to LA. But we're at the Comedy Store every month, so come find us there. Just follow my Instagram.
Richard, you want to plug your show again?
November 10th at the Comedy Store. Last show was crazy. Like there was a woman who was a sub in the front row. Like she like wanted to be dominated all the time. And
Oh, I thought you meant like substitute teacher.
Yeah, so did
Like,
I. What do you mean a sub?
she was a sandwich. And I started talking about kinks on stage. And then I was like, are there any dominatrix here? She was like, I'm the opposite. And I was like, oh, you're like a professional sub. And so like that turned into like a big part of the show. So anything can happen at Richard Sarvate and Friends, November 10th.
You don't want to miss it. And she's hilarious as well, which is why she's here on the podcast. If you're new to the podcast, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please share if you want to sponsor an episode. Reach out. Thanks for joining, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.